As with the door project, this window project started life on the computer, and as you can see, I've made a design. It's full size. I should be able to zoom in. That's 100%, so I've done it out at full size. That's quite important. It doesn't matter whether you do your design on the computer or you still prefer doing it by hand, but it is good to have a full size version if it is possible. Now, from this full size version, I've done two things. One, I've made copies of these panels as designs, which you can see here. That's 1, 2 and 3, and that'll let me obviously outline and paint those 3 panels. So that's the middle 3 bits done. I did do the same for these 2 little bits on the edge as well. And I've also done this, which is just my template without all the fancy stuff in, and that's what I'll stick behind the window. If you can do this, it makes life a lot easier. So again, this is a full-size version. My printer doesn't do full-size printing, that size, I'm afraid. So luckily on this, if I can find the right bit, which is transform, there we go, and it will break it up into nice A4 size chunks. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will print those out as well and stick them together. So I'll do those 2 things and then come back. As you can see, I've printed out my 3 main panels. 1, 2, 3. And what I'm going to do is put those behind a piece of this. Now this is just a plastic film. It's actually our thick plastic film. Fairly thick but also flexible. It has got a backing on, so I've got to make sure I use the film the correct way round, which would be that way round. Now if you can't get your hands on this film, any piece of plastic like this should do, as long as it doesn't react to your glass paints. You can even do this with glass, as long as you can or you can get someone to cut the glass shape out for you. But I'm going to do it on this film, and what I'm going to do is just blue tack the design behind the film like that. I know if I get this right up to the edge, which I have done there we go, I will get a second one there, and by having it at the edge I'll reduce the amount of cutting out I'll have to do. I'm not going to take you through every bit of this. In fact, I'm not going to show you the glass painting bit at all, because this is an advanced video, and hopefully this is very simple glass painting and you should know by now how to do it. We'll just go over the design with the black outliner and then flood fill it with glass paints. If you haven't done that before, we have got lots of videos on our YouTube channel, on our site, about basic glass painting. But you want to glass paint these 2 designs, which I have already done. That's that one. Shall actually be that way round, and that's that one. So that's 2 of them. Then I've got the 3rd one here. I'm actually redoing this because I've made a little bit of an error on that, and it's drying currently in the next room. But those are my 3 main panels. You can see I have, let's get a bit of white paper so you can see a bit clearer. I have outlined them with black outliner and then flood filled them with glass paints. This has actually been done with Pebeo glass paints, but the brand doesn't really matter as long as it's glass paints you like and you're comfortable with. So that's my 3 panels. What I've also printed out, if I get all this stuff out of the way, you may not see the whole of this, is my main design template, full size. I'll just show you that panel is going to go in the middle. these two are going to go on the outside. I haven't quite decided which way round they're going to go yet. I have got panels for that end and for the other end as well. They're drying at the moment. So I might have it that way round. And then again, I might have it that way round. I'll put some more thought into that. So, but that's my 3 main panels done. What I now need to do is go to my adhesive coloured film and cut out pieces for the border. I'll go and do that and come back and show you when I've done it. Well, here is the piece set out on my hallway floor, for want of a better place. It looks a bit strange because obviously these side bits are curling up because they've been in a tube. This is just adhesive transparent film, coloured obviously. So I've cut all those pieces out, I've got all my panels done. A couple of bits of equipment to tell you about. I've cut a couple of templates. This one I've done out of clear plastic, so you might not be able to see it very well. But that's at 60 degrees to give me the cross-hatching angle. I've also got this bit, which I did in cardboard, and that will actually give me the gap between the edge and the second bit of lead running round, so I can run it against that all the time. I've had a very careful think about how I'm going to do the lead. Obviously, like the door, we want as few loose ends as possible. So I'm going to start with the down there, these downs, around the edge, and then the 2 strips downside. Might not be quite that order, but that's roughly what I want to do. But I have got it all planned out in my head, honestly. Oh, I'd forgotten the cross hatching, which needs to be one of the first bits as well. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on. The first thing I'm going to do is blue tack the design to the back of the window, and then I will start by adding the transparent film. Well, as you can see, I've blue tacked the design onto the back of the window. Now, I'm going to add the coloured transparent film, the adhesive. The first thing I'm going to do is just give a light spray there. Not too much, just light. It stops the film sticking too well too soon. Next thing I'm going to do, you can't quite see. Oh, that was just water, by the way. I know the bottle didn't look like it, but it's a bottle I've repurposed. So the next thing I'm going to do when the dog stops barking is peel a teeny bit off the film, a teeny bit of the backing, not much. Make sure you don't get too many fingerprints on the film. I've also got my cardboard template which I showed you before, because this is going to help me work out where it goes. The design behind's great for the general layout, but it's double glazed and it is actually quite a long way back from where I am. Now I know the film's going to start, the lead's going to start there. So if I put that about there, it should be okay. You see what I mean by it not sticking too well too soon. Check that's alright as far as the bottom goes, which I don't think it is. I need to come down a tad. Okay. Now, hopefully, without moving it too much, I can take the backing off and just go in a bit at the bottom. Make sure it's straight and on. Recheck it. That should be alright. The lead will get over that. That'll be alright. The lead should get over that. And lead will cover that up. Okay, I think we're alright. So now I'm just going to dry that down, and as I do so, try not to move it, obviously. But Make sure there's no air in there at all. I heard a little bit come out there. You heard the dog bark. I'm sorry if you're seeing a lot of the back of my head. I apologise, but I need to get to this so I can see it. And there we go. That should be on fine. I'm going to carry on. I'm not going to show you every little bit, but do all the blue film right down to the other end. Okay, well, as you can see, I've added all the blue film I need to. Doesn't look great at the moment, looks a bit higgledy-piggledy, but believe me, that should all come out in the wash. I have faith that it will turn out okay in the end. So for the next bit, I'm going to start leading up, and I'm going to start adding my panels. And this really is the stage at which I need more than 2 hands. But we've got 2, so we will work with what we have. Now I've got my template there, so I know that's where the lead's going to go. The lead's going to go down there, hope you can see that, and at the same time it's going to hold that onto there, hopefully at the right angle. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the backing off the lead. There we go, there's the backing off the lead, and I'm going to just put the first bit on against the cardboard. I have a slight problem, this cardboard seems to be disappearing down into the gap, but I'm hoping there will be correct. I'm going to take that away just for a second. As I say, I've got to get this on. I need it at the right angle. That's where this template comes in. And again, it's disappearing down the edge a bit, but let's try and get it correct. Obviously that's nowhere near far enough across. That should... Sorry, it heads in front of the camera because I need to see what I'm doing. What I really do is coming across a fraction there. Oh, had it and lost it. Just check that's going to be okay. Nothing showing. We're about right. Can we come across a bit? Yes, we can. Back a bit. I'm going to have to go up a bit. That should. I think we're correct there. If I can hold that there without moving it too much. Take the tape off. Put my template back there. Now I'm going to have to try. Oh, it moved again. I have to try and get that against the cardboard. Right, before I go any further, I'm sorry if you couldn't see all that. Before I go any further, I'm just going to sort of check. That's okay, that's okay. I obviously don't want to press this down. That needs to come across a bit. I don't want to press it down too much until I know it's in the correct place. But now I know it's in the correct place, I can press that down firmly, and you will see the lead is keeping the piece onto the glass. So it's this is called a boning tool. Don't worry if you haven't got one, any bit of hard plastic will do. Just marked it slightly, but I won't worry too much about that at this stage. And that's the first bit of lead on. Now I'm obviously going to do the cross pieces. So time to cut another piece. And the first bit we're going to do, I think, will be this bit going across that way. So it'll have to be from there. Better to have it too long than too short. So I'll cut it about there. And because that's being held on, I don't need to use that again. But I would like to know that the lead's coming far enough down. And I obviously got my 60 degrees again. Now I can only do the first bit because the second bit is going to start holding the second panel. We'll just point out I did remember to take the backing off this panel. I was a bit worried I would forget, but I did remember. And what I'm going to do is cut upwards there, because I would like that knot go. And so I can only do the first bit because the second bit is going to hold the second panel. So what I do now is take my template from there, I will put it up there, and we'll get this second panel on. The second panel is going to be this one. Sorry, you're going to get my head in the way again. I need to make sure I've got that in the right place, that it is being held on by this, and I also need my template there to make sure I'm at the correct angle. There we go. I don't have to cut that one because there'll only be one going straight across. I am going to take the very tip of it off though, because I'm slightly worried it's going to poke out the other side of the top lead. So when one goes across here, in fact I can double check that, and one goes across there, yes it would pop out the top. So I'm just going to cut there, make sure the cut is under the lead, so if I do mark in any way the film, it doesn't matter because it will be hidden. Yeah, check your knife's the right way around before you start putting your finger on the so just cut that bit of lead there. Hopefully it will just come away without causing any damage. Should have done this before I held it down, but I didn't. I can see now I'm going to have to press that film down again. There we go. There we go. Press the film down again. Oops, need to get a little bit of glue on there. I can get off later. Right, I'm not going to make you watch every panel because that will be a little bit on the boring side. So I'm going to get on and do this, and then when it's completed, well, I'll put the 3 panels on, and then I will show you the last few of the long strips of lead, I think. Okay, so come back in a bit when I've worked my way along. Okay, you see I've done all the cross hatching, even added these little bits here. Did you see that? Yes, these little bits here. Now to finish the last bit, I've got 4 long strips to go along, and then obviously I will finish those off with 1 strip down either side, and that should basically tie up just about every loose end, apart from the ones on that bit obviously. This shouldn't be too difficult because I've got my template, so hopefully if I do that, and then I will take the back off and add it as I go along. I'm hoping nothing's going to show out the top. So I'll show you the beginning of that, and then I will finish it off and hopefully be able to show you the complete piece. Once again, I'm just taking the backing off the start of my lead, not at all, just at the very start, then I can peel that off as I go along. So template up, lead against the template as we go along, and just press it on there. I'm hoping you can see me doing that. Whoops, template just disappeared up into the window. That ensures I get a nice straight line right across. Time to move that template out. Let's hope I can get it out and move it on to the next bit. I think you can already see you're getting a nice cleaner finish there. As I said, I'm not going to make you watch every bit of this, so I'll just finish this top strip and then we'll skip to the completed piece. Obviously I'm going to carry on and do the 3 other strips long ways and the 2 strips down the edge, but they're all done using this same method. Okay, so here's the finished item. As you can see in this photo, it's still got the backing sheet on, so if we take that off, this is it with the sunshine, such as it is, coming through. I hope you've enjoyed this project. Obviously you don't have to use the same images as us, you can use any images you like, but the technique can be the same. Hope you enjoy it, and happy crafting.